dream I know deep up my feelings for you.
My people, the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki don't come reveal an interview how policies, program, initiative implemented in the last 8 years have impacted the Edo State economy by growing the gross domestic product from $11 billion to $25 billion. But my people, if I go carry the story come give una, I go like welcome una, especially to my wonderful channel, Reality Latest Gist, your home of news and politics. So my people, I thank una well for joining us on today's news. I really appreciate. But if today na your first time to join this wonderful channel, kindly subscribe, like, comment, share, and also turn notification bell so that anytime our news drop, now you go be the first to watch out. My people, don't be small matter. But make una dey calm down, I go dey update una one after the other as the news they come our way. To all our amazing subscribers, thank you so much for joining us on today's news. So guys, let's proceed. When Obaseki was asked to give a little overview of his journey as governor for almost 8 years, Governor Godwin Obaseki said that it has been a fulfilling one. So if they really think about the journey, how they started and where they were going to and how they came in the first place, that they will all know that it was about a state that was struggling to grow. That in 2016, that the country was in recession. So the state was in a deep recession and the economy was in a bad state. So there was need for them to rethink the economy and see how it will grow and bring prosperity, improve livelihood and secure a better life and future for their citizens. So there were serious social challenges and it was like a human catastrophe in Edo State, because if they recall at a point in time where people had lost hope, especially their young people, that nobody wanted to stay back and start a life in Edo State. But they were ranked #1 in terms of human trafficking and irregular migration. So a report got to them that the International Organization for Migration in January 2017 revealed that they had about 30,000 young Edo boys and girls in Libya trying to cross to Europe. So he remembered then that every wreck, every ship and every vessel that moved from Edo to other country had their people. But there was a setting in which they came in. So the first thing was to restore hope from the perspective of building an economy that the people could benefit from, and also restore hope by showing their young people that home is good. So nowhere else is better than your home. It's as of then, my people, nobody want to stay Edo State. And they barely had one flight coming into Edo State. But today, as you can see, they have about 10 flights a day. That 7 years ago, the place was so dark. Infrastructure was not good. But today, the infrastructure has improved tremendously, from government infrastructure to all their public user infrastructure. When Governor Obaseki was asked that, how come that among all Nigerian governors that he appears to be one of the dissenting voices, especially when it comes to some government policies, so he should tell them what was the factor that pushed him to be the lone voice. My people of a small matter. Governor Godwin Obaseki said that he thought that it was about conviction and knowledge. And when somebody becomes a governor, that who is the person afraid of? That you and the president have immunity. So first, it requires as a leader the courage to know what it is and to also speak your mind. So he may not always be right. At least let people know and understand how you were thinking and why you were thinking that way. So on a general note, that they've all accepted that things are not right and not working right. But for him as a governor, he have dissented on so many areas. First, in terms of how they deploy their resources in Nigeria, that honestly they've shown in Edo State that they are not rich, but they are not poor as well. So when he came into office, the argument was Edo is a civil service state and it's only the government that is the key driver. He said no to the government. Well, yes, it's the key driver, but how should the government play its role as a key driver in the economy? Is it as an enabler or an investor? But people hadn't shifted from that ideological view of government commanding and being in charge of commanding height of the economy to one in which the government is now playing a supportive role in the growth of the economy. And another thing he has to say is this, that they have now realized that the government is not as rich as people perceive it to be. So since they don't have as much money, they have got to learn to manage the little resources they have, which may not be a popular view to take politically. When he was asked how come he was able to pay 70,000 minimum wage, my people, Governor Godwin Obaseki said that he can pay 70,000 because 2 or 3 years ago, he raised an alarm that they were resorting to massive borrowing, which would be inflationary in the long run. So he predicted there would be a massive devaluation of their currency. So they know it that it's going to happen. That's why they had to take certain measures, because they knew that it will translate into the demand for higher wages because of the inflation. They have to say to themselves, look, let's focus on building a much more efficient economy. For them to focus on reducing the cost of governance. Also focus on training their people and getting more productivity out of them. They say right now they have a power purchase agreement where they purchase 5 to 10 megawatts of power, which they use to run all of government offices and the street lights at night. So he don't have to buy diesel. He have a fleet management service. Governor Godwin Obaseki said that he owns his own Uber, where he have to put his transport system, his cars and vehicle into one transport system. So they are running the government at a fraction of what they used to run the system in the past. Because his most valuable asset is Edo people. So he has to pay them more and get more productivity out of them. And he is measuring teachers today in terms of learning outcome. So his teacher cannot be absent from school because he can see all that from his tablet, whether a teacher is in class or not. He can relate to his drug program, what he paid for medicine, to what's been dispensed in a primary healthcare center, because he have trained his people and he have invested in technology, because they have hugely invested in technology infrastructure. Despite states earning more as a result of subsidy removal in the last 1 year, they don't seem to be doing so much. So Governor Godwin Obaseki was asked that what could he have done about that. He said that well, not Edo State, because they are doing a lot. They are investing in their internal infrastructure and so many other things. So he was asked to specify their focus. He said that they focus on skills. That in the last 6 years that he have trained over 200,000 young men and women, and he have invested in broadband infrastructure across his state. That is not cheap. So they are building their internal road network and investing in rainstorm infrastructure to deflood his state. And he investing in supportive infrastructure to support agriculture. He's also investing in a public service in his governance architecture. When he was asked what happened between him and Philip Shaibu, his former deputy governor, because they saw the drama that plays out, and some people believe it could have been managed differently. That could the situation not have been savage without getting very bad? Governor Godwin Obaseki said that he don't know how it could have been savage. That the issue was straightforward. He wanted to succeed him. That was the issue. That he wanted to, by all means, succeed him as a governor, and the geopolitics of their state does not support it. So how can he do something wrong right? To say, okay, that he will support him to succeed him, even though it was not the right or fair thing to do. So how can they play that kind of politics? That he had no choice. And he cannot support his candidacy because he don't think it is the right thing to do. That the party level, they believe in rotation. That somebody from his area, from the same community, handed it over to him, who is from the south. So the fair thing to do was to rotate power to the central that has not had the opportunity to produce a governor. So it's about the unity and balance of the state. Governor Godwin Obaseki was asked what is that one thing he wish he could have done differently. He said he wish he could manage Nigeria and a better federal government, that they would have done much more, that some of the things and pains they have had to go through would not have been necessary. Then in his next life, he said that he will dust up his certificate and look for another job. That is the next thing he would do after his government. That's he would like to teach, that he would like to go back to school, he would like to impart to young people, and he think that he's best in the sense that he don't think there are many Nigerians like him who have had the privilege and opportunity of building a successful career in businesses and building a successful career in government as well. So he have to teach them. Don't be small wahala. So guys, I would like to know your thoughts, your contributions, opinions, and in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you so much for staying to with us.